Hooday, Bengal fans. He is Mon, Eric. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse, the heartbeat of our Cincinnati Bengals. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We are excited, looking forward to talking some Bengals with you guys tonight. Make sure you comment in the comment section. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about OTAs and some other stuff that's going on and try to get to some of your questions tonight. Have a little back and forth with all of our awesome listeners. So make sure you comment in the comment section so we can see that, and we'll have a little back and forth tonight as well. It's going to be kind of one of those shows, guys, where let's just talk Bengals tonight. Let's just talk Bengals tonight. We got some really cool stuff coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I'll let Eric tell you guys a little bit about all that. But before we get to all of that, Mon, I don't have to ask you. I know. I was more concerned. I was more concerned that I was going to have to rush to the hospital after I saw the ending to your Oilers game. How are you doing, buddy? Are you okay?
Yeah, what a great game. It was a lot of fun. I didn't sleep much last night. I was tossing and turning, just thinking about the game. It was a lot of fun. Man, I tell you, playoff hockey is so intense. To me, it's the closest thrill to that matches a Bengal game, because I get pretty intense. I really get caught up in the NFL season and every Bengal game. You guys know that. Hockey is pretty darn close. Not quite there, but it's close. It was fun to watch, and I'm catching a lot of hell down here because I'm not rooting for the Florida team. I just I like Edmonton because I'm not a rabid hockey fan, but as a kid, I'd like the Edmonton Oilers because of Wayne Gretzky. So I'm just
listen. You're an adopted Canadian. It's okay. You like
I've been there 3 times.
I love it. I'll tell you. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I will tell you this. I probably have told you this story before, but my dad is a huge Flyers fan. I'm talking about my dad is a diehard Flyers fan. That's probably his favorite. That's probably his favorite team besides Penn State. So I don't remember what year it was, but I bought my dad Game 7 tickets. So him and I went to see the Flyers and the Flyers and the Lightning play in Tampa, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And the Flyers lost 2-1. But I'm going to tell you, that was insane. That was one of the coolest things I have ever been to. So I kind of know what you mean. I'm not a big hockey guy, but after we walked out of there, obviously my dad was broken, kind of like I was when we walked out of that SoFi Stadium back in 21. But my dad was broken. But I mean, I was like, man, that was incredible to watch. That you really get a different idea and feel for it when you go watch it live. It's really incredible.
You're right. It is intense. I mean, I've gone to minor league hockey in Orlando. It's just fans are rabid. But I'll say this, I know we're going to get to football here in a second, guys. But it's funny that the last 8 teams in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the last 8 teams, they're down to the final 2 now. They had a statistic the other day. 6 of those 8 teams don't have a first or second round pick in this upcoming NHL draft. They trade their picks away to stay relevant and to build the team. Like last year, Edmonton and Florida played. Edmonton lost in Game 7. So what did they do? They knew their weakness. They can't match up physically to the Florida Panthers. Florida is a tough team, and they could still easily win this Stanley Cup. So Edmonton went out and they countered them. They countered them. We see that in the NFL, but in hockey, it's a general manager league. Your general managers are always making moves, making deals to enforce your or to help your team, and it's just really funny to see. Monitoring that, it's really interesting, and I tell you, it's a lot of fun. Playoff hockey is so intense.
And transitioning to the NFL again, we see that with a lot. And this is not me loving on the Rams because I do not like the Rams, Eric, but their front office went out and again, they didn't have a first round pick for like 3 years, right? But they went all in and broke our hearts. But You see teams doing that. You see teams
Yes.
going out and getting that championship, and then they have to recover after a couple years. But guys, I'm gonna tell you, I'm to the point in my life after 40 plus years of this Bengal stuff. I am at the point in my life where I'm like, you know what, just go all in.
Yeah.
If that means that we're in purgatory for 5 straight years, just go all in, please. I need it, Bengals. I need it. Eric, how
Yeah.
you doing, buddy?
Yeah, so there's so much to cover there. And anybody that plays poker, going all in is a lot. The stubborn thing with the Bengals is you don't have to go all in. Sometimes, going all in is a really risky move in poker, but it's sometimes the only move. It's what you have to do to get back in the game. The Bengals do not need to go all in. They need to just place some bets. They're kind of out there. They're just limping into the pot. They're barely betting any money. They got all the cards. They hold most of the cards out there. They're ready to go. They just need one or two more. Just put a little bit of money on the table. You don't have to go all in. Um, it's frustrating that they just got to give us a little bit more. I was supposed to tell you how I'm doing, but I'm going to go on a rant.
Now,
Other,
you're right. It works sometimes. It really does. It worked with the Rams. It worked with the Chiefs. They went out and spent a lot of money and draft picks on an offensive line when the Buccaneers destroyed them. It worked for them. Some teams, it doesn't work. They go all in, and guess what? It sets them back 5 or 6 years. Look at the Titans.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, this the biggest thing is we don't have to go all in. We just gotta, just bet a little bit of your money, put it out on the table. You gotta, anybody that's got into all this betting out there, Bet US, Hard Rock Casino, you go out, you make this great 7 leg parlay, but you only put $5 down. We're gonna win $35. Sometimes you got to put a 50 spot down to make that bet pay off. That's all I'm asking the
Yeah.
Bengals to do. Put $100 down and go sign yourself a Brandon Scherf. Put a little bit of it out there.
At this point, I'm
Mon,
just asking the Bengals to go all in on Trey Hendrickson at this point. Like that's
Mon,
that's what I want to see. Just go in on Trey Hendrickson. Let's get this guy in the camp here and let's get this thing rolling.
yeah. Well, and that's just rolling the dice with the guys that you had. Just keep going. Give him a little bit more money. You don't even have to go all in on that. You already owe him $18 million a year. Give him 12 more. Jermaine Pratt's gone. There's 8 of that 12. I do want to touch on this, Mon. The Edmonton Oilers are going to be playing in Florida. We need to go fund me to get Mon there. Like, why are you
Money.
not going to one of the games?
It's a lot of money. I did look for craps and giggles there, 5, 6, 7, $700 for tickets. Man, I don't want to go walk of shame. I might get beat up down there. I just don't want it. I mean, if you guys want to come and be my muscle,
I mean,
we'll
listen, Mon's
go.
got enough muscle. I don't think you have a problem. Nice thing is you live in Florida. Okay, right now, Section 325 is $443. Now, come 12 hours before that game, you're going to have some desperate people to sell their tickets if they're not going. You might be able to get that down to 300. Jump on
Yeah.
Brightline, get over there, show them
Now,
what it's about.
you were just talking about gambling, and I grabbed my phone and went on Hard Rock. I put $10 down on the Oilers last June to win the Stanley Cup. They were one of the favorites, so I win $90 if they win the Stanley Cup. I'm going to put $50 down on the Bengals to win the AFC North, and I'm trying to see what $50, how much of the payout would be, because I like the chances of the Bengals winning the AFC North. I know they're not the favorites, but I'm going to look that up while we're getting ready for this show.
Why don't you, let's just parlay that. Bengals win the AFC North. Joe Burrow wins the MVP. Jamar Chase has 1,600 yards. There, parlay that. You turn that 50 into probably 500, and you can get
Listen, I
us some
like I like
new
the Bengals
microphones.
chances. I like the Bengals chances a lot better after the Pittsburgh Steelers have brought the biggest clown to the circus today, signing Aaron Rodgers. I'm really gonna enjoy watching that circus go on up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Watching Tomlin trying to trying to maintain and organize DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, probably two of the biggest clowns in the NFL. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about that.
yeah, Mon, what do you think about that? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not a kumbaya. bring the guys to the table, lead the men through the army type of guy. He's going to get his yards. He's going to throw for his touchdowns. But it's going to be Aaron's way or the highway. You think that's going to work in Pittsburgh?
I don't. I think he's a toxic guy. I think he's a me first guy. He's not he's not the Aaron Rodgers of a few years ago. I think he's let celebrity life get to him. Yeah, he's just an odd individual. Danica Patrick said some things about him. They dated, and he's different. Let's put it that way. I'm glad he's a Steeler. I will say this about him. He's still got a magical arm. He's got a cannon of an arm. His athleticism isn't there. He was a sneaky good athlete. He could move around that pocket. It's just not there anymore. It's going to be Pittsburgh's defense. It's going to be that running game. And I think their passing game got a little better. I still don't see them as a threat in the AFC North.
How about their corner? Did you guys see what I sent you? That Deshaun Elliott, that corner for the Steelers, not too long ago, went on and said, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, said leave his ass at the retirement home. And then like 3 weeks later they sign him. So that should be a good awkward locker room moment when Deshaun Elliott sees Aaron Rodgers. It's funny because you hear these Steeler guys talking. They have it. It's not just him, but other guys have talked some serious trash about Aaron Rodgers leading up to this. So it should be a very fun dynamic to watch. We already know how Mike Tomlin handled, I don't know, Pickens, Smith-Schuster, every other clown that's come through that organization. It has not worked out well. So this should be a lot of fun. I'm always in to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers implode. That should be fun.
Our gambling friends out there, Hard Rock out of Florida, a $50 wager for the Bengals to win the AFC North. The Bengals are plus 225, $162 if they win the AFC North on a $50 wager. If they win the AFC Championship on a $50 bet, you get $500.
How about Super Bowl? Put it down on Super Bowl.
Give me a second.
You just got to roll all three of those: AFC North, AFC Championship, Super Bowl, going all in. We need some of that Bet US money to put down on there, right?
Well, let's talk, guys. Let's talk because we do have OTAs going on. We had a special guest in the building, right? We Mr. Peyton Manning came over to see and hang out with the GOAT himself, Joe Burrow. Not sure, guys. Did they ever say what the reasoning for that was? Well, Houday, T. Brookie, Houday to everybody out there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Did they ever say why Peyton Manning was there? Was he just coming by?
He's responsible for the Netflix documentary Quarterbacks. He's the executive producer. He's in charge of that. So he's the one that convinced and he's there. And he does Peyton's Place. Do you know that the Bengals are going to be featured on 3 episodes of Peyton's Place this year? So that's
great. I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's on ESPN Plus. It's really good. It's 30 minutes. And it's a show. It's great. We subscribe to Hulu, that Disney package, and ESPN Plus is part of it. It's good stuff. It really is. As much as I hated him as a player, I love the Manning cast, and he's a likable guy. And he genuinely likes Joe Burrow, and he's a fan. And I like that. I like him.
And you're right about that because Eli's kind of the same way. They do a very good job of not. I mean, they're obviously they have. You could tell they both have a good sense of humor. I could not stand either one of them when they played, but they're very likable now. And you know what I like best about them is you don't hear the negativity about teams like the Bengals that you hear from other media heads. You don't hear that from the Manning brothers. You know what I mean? They seem very level-headed. And I don't know. They just seem like good dudes. They're much more likable now than when they played, for sure.
No, to me, it's more entertaining to watch their Manning cast because they know football and they're calling the shots. Do this. Look at that. It's open. And they get so frustrated. Why did he do that? And it's just fun to watch. I remember last year they had Bill Belichick on, and he was on for one full quarter. I forget the game he was on, buddy. It was a coaching clinic. I couldn't stop watching it. It was so much fun because Belichick is saying this, that's, and he wasn't holding back. He was letting them get, that was poor effort. That was poor coverage. Why are they doing that? And it was fun to watch. Actually, I think it was a Bengal game. Actually, it might have been a Bengal game. I need to look that up.
Huh. And Bengals fandom says they are also highlighting Paul Brown. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's Paul Brown, Boomer, and Chris Collinsworth. They're going to be part of Peyton's place. I think they already taped them. Awesome. They taped the segments already. That's why he's wearing the Kenny Anderson thing. There's a clip.
I was wondering why he was wearing the Kenny Anderson thing. Yeah.
There was a clip of his dad, Archie, was a great quarterback for the Saints. Unfortunately, he played for a horrible organization, never had a winning record, but I think he was NFL MVP one year, and he was a great quarterback. Peyton was a young kid, very, 5. They asked him who his favorite quarterback was. Is your dad your favorite quarterback? I got to find that clip, and we'll play it. He goes, no, Kenny Anderson is. He said that because they played during the same era. Yeah, and he's like 5 years old, 4 years old.
Yeah,
it was cute. And Archie looked and laughed. He goes, my kids don't even like me. So, I got to find that clip.
Well, let's talk a little bit, guys, about the highlights. Again, the big story coming out of OTAs was Cam Taylor-Britt. I don't know if you guys saw that whole thing, but Cam Taylor-Britt makes an incredible play, which, again, Cam Taylor-Britt said something about it. Some other guy said, listen, Joe Burrow does not get picked off very often. Cam Taylor-Britt makes an incredible play, picks off Joe Burrow. Then, lovingly, as competition's a good thing, throws the ball back at Joe Burrow. And what does Joe do on the very next play? He throws a 70-yard touchdown pass to Jamar Chase, who just literally runs by. And again, you have got to feel bad for anybody that's taking Joe Burrow's wrath. But DJ Turner, poor guy, got the wrath of Joe Burrow on the next play as he threw an absolute dime. Jamar Chase, which, again, not a good thing. We don't want to see our corners getting burnt like that. But Jamar Chase is obviously the best receiver in the NFL. So what do you guys think about that whole – it was good. I mean, I think it was good for the defense to win one, good for the offense to win one. And it's good to see guys like Cam Taylor-Britt making some plays in OTAs because we need Cam Taylor-Britt back to form because, good Lord, last year was not good. Mon, what do you think?
Yeah, that was interesting. They were talking about it. One of the, I think Paul Daner mentioned it. He goes, Joe was upset. He goes, Hut, and he throws a 70-yard bomb for a touchdown because he was ticked off about the interception from Cam Taylor-Britt. Hey, good for him. We need those young cornerbacks to rebound. We really need them to take another step. And, it sounds like this offseason, it's, the team is really taking it serious. And, hey, those reps are good stuff. I know they don't have their pads on and everything, but that does build confidence. It was good to see, and it's refreshing to see that. Actually, the juices are flowing. You see guys out there practicing. You sort of the concerns of the offseason, they're still there, but you're not thinking about them as much. You're getting ready for this new season, and I can't wait.
Yeah, what was cool about that was that CTB, he said we wanted Shiesty to come out. That's why he made a bigger deal of it than anything, because he wanted Joe to be in season form, get him pissed off, and let Joe do what Joe does. And Shiesty came out the very next play and lit him up. One of the interesting things with that, I know Dax Hill is not practicing because he's still recovering from that ACL. But CTB was playing in the slot. What do you guys think about CTB moving around and lining up in the slot at occasion? Could that be a role this year for him?
Go ahead, Mon. What do you think?
Oh, you're muted, Mon.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and take it first. I think. Listen, Cam Taylor-Britt is one of those kind of guys who The Bengals obviously losing Mike Hilton this year. I think we're going to see a rotation at that nickel position to see who kind of fits it best. I don't mind. Honestly, if Dax Hill, if they are moving him to that boundary corner, which we are hearing that they are, if they are moving Dax Hill out to the boundary, and DJ Turner can shine. I talked about this earlier. I really like our cornerback room. I think it's sneaky good. I like Cam Taylor-Britt. Obviously, you have Fig Newton as well, a guy that could play the boundary too. So I like Cam Taylor-Britt at the nickel position. Again, you saw that play, that the pick we talked about on Mike Gesicki. Sometimes when you got a corner that's really struggling on that boundary, which is the hardest position to play besides playing quarterback, sometimes you got to move those guys around and give them some confidence. Mon, what do you think?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep. I got you.
Yeah, I think Josh Newton is going to get the first chance at nickel. Dax Hill played a lot of that in college. Dax Hill was playing, outside corner last year before he tore up his knee. It's going to be DJ Turner, Dax Hill, and Cam Taylor-Britt. Cam Taylor-Britt, absolutely. I think he has the body type to play the slot. Somebody had mentioned this previously. He's a thumper. He's very physical. Could you transform him into a safety type? I think what you're going to see is Cam Taylor-Britt, and Dax Hill. They want sort of a Swiss Army knife. Hey, we need you to play slot here. We need you to play here. Need you to here. Maybe just rotate in the corner. They want these guys to be very versatile, and there's not a lack of talent there. Remember the San Diego Charger game or the Los Angeles Charger game last year? DJ Turner was having his best game of the season. Yes. He was playing well before he injured his clavicle and was out for the season. My only concern about him is he is a little frail. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he's super athletic. He ran a 4.2 640 at the combine. He's honestly, everybody talks about Dax Hill's athleticism. DJ Turner might be the most athletic guy in our secondary. I'm excited about him as long as he can stay healthy. Cam Taylor-Britt, you're right. He did struggle last year. The year before, he looked a lot better. I'm still high on him. I really am. I'm expecting to bounce gear. And Josh Newton, up and down year. He's a rookie. But you know what? He has the right attitude, the right makeup. 4.5, 4.56, 4.58. Wasn't the fastest guy at the combine, but he played at Texas Christian. I saw him play against West Virginia a lot. The guy he has a little bit of Mike Hilton in him. Let's put it that way. He's bigger than Mike Hilton, but he has that attitude that Mike Hilton had. I can see him playing slot a lot. He's going to be a big part of this defense. Every one of those guys we talked about has to take that next step and get this defense back on track.
Jennifer Jones brings up, she's throwing out some names. Jalen Davis, which Mon and I, neither one of us had Jalen Davis even making this roster this year in our way too early 53. DJ Ivy, who I really like. Vanguard, yes. Dax Hill has not been cleared yet, but if you've been watching some of the OTAs, he is on the side working, and they say he's pretty close to getting back to being cleared. So that is exciting, getting Dax Hill back to that already young and impressive secondary, I think. Jennifer also talked about Kelsey Conway on Good Morning Football this morning. Did you guys see that? I did not see that.
I did not.
No, there was news that was going to be a regular segment or Good Morning Thursdays. I'm not sure. It sounds like she's going to be on there weekly. That's interesting. Oh, wow. Nice representation for Cincinnati. Hopefully it's representing Cincinnati and not Baltimore, but we'll see how that goes.
I didn't have Jalen Davis making the roster this year, but I do remember this quote from Zach Taylor and Burks, the defensive backs coach. He said Jalen Davis could start for half the teams in the NFL in the slot.
That's crazy, right?
They said that, listen, he's a survivor. He has made the team 3 years in a row. They absolutely love him. And, I mean, for coaches to throw those words out, Hey, guys, listen. I know coaches want to pump up players, but that's some high praise. That really is.
You know what's hard though to think about, Mon, is like, you think about who is Jalen Davis, who is he going to bump off of there, right? That's kind of what it's not so much that Jalen Davis maybe is not good enough to make this roster. It's more like who is he going to bump off? I mean, they keep
10. They keep 10.
They keep 10, but I mean, they've used a lot of draft capital on that defensive backfield. I mean, who would you say out of the guys that we talked about keeping, which was let's go through the list real quick: Cam Taylor-Britt, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, Fig Newton, and then Jordan Battle, obviously, Geno Stone, Dejon Anthony, Tyson Anderson, right? Because you figure they're going to keep
8. That's 8. So that's 2 more slots.
So you have 2 more spots. DJ Ivy is 9, and then I think
Marco
I had
Wilson.
I think I had
Wilson. I had Marco Wilson.
Yeah. So who are you bumping off of that 10 to keep Jalen Davis? Maybe Marco Wilson? I don't know.
Well, I'll say this about Marco Wilson. I know he was a draft pick, I think, of the Cardinals. Guys, his athleticism is through the roof. He did flash last year. He's very young. I think there's a lot to work with there. There is so much to work with. Is he going to be a superstar? No, but I think he could be a decent NFL player, and I think you got to keep him. I really think you need to. Now, I hate to say this, guys. We know what happens on every NFL team, and injuries happen. People get nicked up. Jalen Davis could be on the practice squad. The Bengals love him. He is between 8, 9, and 10. He's going to be in one of those ranges. But the first 7 or 8 are locks to me. And Marco Wilson, to me, showed enough last year to make the team.
Bengals fandom wants to know about, yes, they usually keep 10 defensive backs. Now, we talked about this, Mom. We did our way too early. That was Lou's defense that he was a defensive back guy. He loves defensive backs. Lou Dini, he kept 10 of those guys. Now we got Al Golden, who is a linebacker guy. Maybe the Bengals don't keep 9 DBs. Maybe they keep that extra linebacker. We kind of threw that around a little bit too. So going to be interesting.
Yeah, that article from Charlie Goldsmith, he said that Al Golden's defense is going to be centered around the linebackers. He said that it's a linebacker-centric defense. They're the brains of that. They're the nucleus of Al Golden's new defense. So the Bengals normally keep 5 linebackers. Could it be 6, maybe 7? You're going to have to take an offensive lineman here, a cornerback here. They usually keep 10 defensive backs, and we had Marco Wilson making it over Jalen Davis. And I think I feel comfortable with that.
We both did.
Yeah.
Vanguard brings up Eli Apple. Listen, I'm going to say this about Eli Apple. He got a lot of crap. But Eli Apple, and I know he didn't have a great Super Bowl, but I'm going to tell you, Eli Apple was one of the reasons we played in that Super Bowl. He had a great stretch there, Mon. I really like Eli Apple. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not saying I'm a big fan or anything, but Eli Apple was a solid addition. As much crap as he got, he was a solid addition and helped them on that run to the Super Bowl, Mon.
Eli Apple is one of the best reclamation projects ever in Bengal history. Yes. He was bounced around, Giants, Saints, all over the place. He came in. Listen, he was a good player. We can say what we want about the Super Bowl. He's playing against the top wide receiver in the NFL that year in Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
Listen, he held his own. You can't – guys like Cooper Kupp are going to make plays. I just want to say this about the Super Bowl. We had the lead in the fourth quarter, late in the third and the fourth, 4 possessions in a row. Our offense punted 3 and out. I think they got 1 first down on them. You get 1 good drive, you win the game. So I don't want to live back. I'm sorry. It's just it's painful.
Run the damn ball, control the clock. Just say it. Go, on, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not even. Oh God, let's not even talk
No
about that.
PTSD on that. This is
People, there's a
2025.
lot of people. A lot of people are they talk crap about Eli Apple because he does chirp a lot. I get it. He rubs some people the wrong way. I think maybe the coaching staff were a little fed up with his chirping and tweeting and everything. I get it, but you know what? He played really good for the Bengals. And if separate the chirping to play on the field. He was the least of our worries in that secondary.
Yeah.
Listen. We all know that if the referees do what they're supposed to do and keep that flag in their pocket, it's 4th down and goal. The Bengals are winning that Super Bowl. But let's not talk about it. God, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, let's
So
talk about 2025.
let's transition just a little bit because there was a lot of good interviews from James Rapine and Dan Horde and whatnot coming out of the locker room this week. One of the big things that I really kind of keyed on or got to hear was talk about Jerry Montgomery and Al Golden and how he's kind of reinvigorating these young guys like Miles Murphy and drilling the basics. Like last year, we talked about it so much: missed tackles, bad pursuit angles, basic football, basic defensive football is what cost us this playoff run. And to hear that Al Golden and Jerry Montgomery are really going and just teaching new technique, honing in on the basics, the fundamentals, not overcomplicating it, and even throwing in some stuff where teaching defensive linemen where their support from safeties are. Well, defensive linemen don't necessarily concern themselves with that, but drilling that into them that, hey, you can give up a little bit here because you got safety help over there. I was really excited to hear that, guys. I don't know if you guys got a chance to hear that, but what
I
are your
did.
thoughts on that approach? Go ahead, Mom.
I like it. I like the drills, trying to create more turnovers. I absolutely love that. Sometimes keeping it simple is the best thing you can do. Something that I've harped on. We all have. I I want him to install a mentality. Okay, I love trying to get more quarterback pressures. Let's get a couple more fumbles. That's great. I want a mentality. I want a hockey player mentality. We talked about it a little bit before and off the air. I want this defense to have a physicality. I want them to come in and I want them to deliver blows instead of absorbing the blows. I've seen that too much the last 2 years. Maybe we were a little overmatched talent wise. We didn't have those big guys. We got Slayton there. We got McKinley Jackson there. We got Chris Jenkins, who's gotten bigger. These guys, Miles Murphy looks good in camp. You know what? Let's punch instead of getting punched. I know it sounds simple. It's up here, man. It's attitude. And I hope Al Golden, these guys, I want the Bengals to punch somebody, okay? On the field, not mean.
Yeah.
You know what
No,
I mean?
you punch them
Deliver
with your style of
punishment.
play. Yeah. So to add on to that, and I'll get Jake's take on this, is we also heard a lot of drills and a lot of stuff out there where they are going out and they're trying to get the ball and they're running drills to force turnovers, strip the ball, knock it out, create some chaos out there. So I'll go to you, Coach. Do you run drills like that where you're training people to go out there and get the ball? And how often does that give you an extra turnover, maybe every couple games?
Listen, we absolutely. I mean, one of my biggest things is creating turnovers on the defense side of the ball. Listen, when you have a high-powered offense like the Bengals had this year, and like we had the Vipers, like we had this year as well, that led us to a state championship. Listen, our defense this year. I'm speaking on the Vipers, the team I coach. We played a 13 game season. This includes the playoffs and the state championship game. We ended up with I believe we had 15 interceptions and we had I believe it was 13 fumble recoveries. We had almost 30 turnovers on defense. You want to know why we got state championship rings? It's because of our defense with almost 30 turnovers, and then obviously getting to the quarterback's another big thing that we preach. But we continually work on getting the ball out because, again, we have a very good offense, just like the Bengals have a very good offense. And when you have a very good offense, what do you have to do on defense? You have to get the ball back to those guys. You have to try to get them good field position It goes hand in hand. You talk about playing that good relationship, offense, defense. That's how it works. A defense turns the ball over, offense scores.
Let me talk about your team real quick here to everybody. I went to see Jake's team play Astronaut High School, slightly bigger high school in Florida here. Jake, Astronaut was physically a little bigger than your team. They really were. Okay, that was a hard-fought game. You guys came out at halftime, and your team punched them. Your team punched them, went into overtime, and your team should have won. You got screwed in that game. But it was all attitude. It's all attitude. And those guys were on the ropes. They didn't know what to do. You know what? They didn't care that your guys weighed 10 pounds, 15 pounds more. Yeah. Or your guys didn't care about that. You didn't care that your team didn't care that those guys a couple inches taller. They're football players, and you freaking punched them in the mouth. That's what I want the Bengals to do. And that was a fun game. That was one of the best high school football games I ever witnessed.
You know what's funny too, Mon, is I've been coaching for 20 plus years, and that's the only game I've ever received an apology from the referee crew.
Did they? Yeah,
we did. We got an apology from the referee crew on that one. But yeah, and again, back to the turnover thing. I love watching teams, even teams at the highest level, like the NFL guys. Those are the kind of things you have to work on. Those are the kind of things you have to work on, because those are the things that decide games, guys. Think about this year. Think about how poor we were at getting to the quarterback, right? I mean, again, I know Trey Hendrickson had 17 and a half, but think about the rest of the team. Think about how poorly we did getting to the quarterback, and think about how poorly we did at turning the ball over on defense. Those kind of things change outcomes of games very, very quickly.
Yes.
And the Bengals did not do a good job of it. And that's what I like to see. I like to see these coaches working on those small details, like punching the ball out, everybody getting to the football, somebody swinging on it. We're making sure we're securing the tackle, but somebody's swinging on it. I love that stuff.
We saw it firsthand last year in one of our worst losses of the season. We had the Baltimore Ravens down 21-7 in Baltimore. We had them on the ropes. You know what? It was almost going to be a laugher. It really was. And then a turnover flipped the game. It totally flipped the mojo in that game. You're right. Turnovers can reset everything. We need to get more of those. We need to get more turnovers, and we need to make sure we don't turn the ball over.
Well, let me say this real quick, because Mon's got a great point. I want to make sure that we nail this down. Listen, Mon, you are so right. When you have two teams like what we had in that Bengals Baltimore game, going back and forth, Joe Burrow threw the pick, and it ended up deciding the game pretty much. One turnover decided that game. That was a complete shootout. It makes a huge difference.
I was talking about the Chase Brown fumble.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about the pick. That was the other Baltimore game.
Yeah, that was the second game.
That was the other Baltimore game.
Yeah, that was the one in Baltimore where he fumbled. It was 21-7, guys.
Yes.
And we were going up and down the field. I'm telling you right now. And it just totally flipped the script. But
think about that.
Let's not talk about painful losses anymore.
But listen, both of those Baltimore games were decided on one turnover, one mistake. One mistake sometimes is all it takes. And that's why you have to work on this stuff right now in OTAs and camp.
Well, even didn't Joe Burrow fumble the ball in the Chiefs game? Very similar, trying to make something happen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, going back a few years, that strip on Travis Kelce really changed the momentum in that game and help us win that one. So we got a super chat here from Fuzzy Balls. Want to put it up here. It's very similar to what we're talking about here. But he's saying we're going to have a lot more speed and athleticism at linebacker this season. He's very excited. So do you guys think, because I heard this stated earlier, that we're going to be shifting to more of a linebacker-focused defense. Do you see that being a positive, or where does that go? I'll go to you, Mon, first.
I think it is going to be, we have a new defensive coordinator that, like I said earlier from that article from Charlie Goldsmith, his defense requires athleticism and big play from his linebackers. You remember when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, he was on the staff, and Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt have their best seasons, I think. Also, don't forget the reason they had their best seasons, we had a great defensive line, Larry Ogunjobi, BJ Hill, and DJ Reader. Great, very underrated defensive tackle trio there, one of the best in the league. And that helped Wilson, that helped, Pratt excel, seek and destroy kind plays, and I think he's trying to create that, guys like Slayton, McKinley Jackson, Chris Jenkins, he's hoping to get some of that production from his defensive line that could free up those linebackers. They needed to get athletic. Barrett Carter, why? Barrett Carter is going to be a neutralizer for Lamar Jackson. If they could get if they can hold Baltimore to 2 less first downs, if they can hold them to 30 less rushing yards, these new linebackers, 40 less rushing yards, we win those games last year.
You look back at that Steelers game, we needed a 6-game winning streak to make it. We had a 5-game. But look back at that Steelers game. What happened? It was check down Charlie. It was every other play. It was a throw over the middle, wide open, and our linebackers didn't rally to the point to tackle. Improved that one game there.
It's like a running play. You're right. Yeah, 3-4 yards, they were killing us. They were absolutely killing us. But, this defense has not been the same, honestly, since Larry O, DJ Reader, all those guys. They were the nucleus of Lou's defense. They really controlled that line of scrimmage. Guys, I think one of the best defensive performances I've ever seen by a Bengal player, an NFL player. I'm not being a homer here. His stats weren't outrageous. What DJ Reader did in the divisional playoffs against the Tennessee Titans was something that should be shown to the other defensive linemen in the NFL. He shut down that rushing attack. He did. He destroyed that interior offensive line of the Titans. And that was one of the big reasons we won that game. It was one of his best games as a Bengal, that divisional game against the Titans.
Well, I think, too, not only did we get more athletic at linebacker, and we talked about this before, but we got better at rushing the passer at linebacker, right? Oren, Burks, the 2 rookies in Knight and Carter, those guys, if you go back and look at their tape, they are known for being able to rush the passer. So what do you do when you go get athletic linebackers? You have another chance to pressure the quarterback. And we saw Al Golden talk about, hey, listen, don't be surprised if we're trying to get extra pressure. It's with those linebackers because Knight and Carter both were very good at it. And we saw Burks in the playoff run. They did the same. He did the same thing. He was very good at rushing the passer and did a really good job of that. I want to talk really quick, and I know we want to tease some stuff, but let me talk really quick because Dan Horde did a great job of giving his five takes from that day. Obviously, 1 and 2 were what we've already talked about, was the pick by Cam Taylor-Britt, and then Burrow going up top. Higgins laughing about, I knew Burrow was going to do that because he was pissed. He talked about what you talked about earlier, what creating those turnovers in games. He talked about Dax Hill and how well he was running and cutting, which we talked about. But the one we didn't talk about is the one that I am very excited about. Guys, I don't know if you've watched Yoshi in OTAs, but this dude, he looks like a beast. He looks like he's put on 15 pounds of muscle. And T. Higgins was raving about him, talking about he was faster, bigger, stronger. I'm telling you right now, guys, Yoshivas this year is going to be a difference maker. I am telling you now, Yoshi is going to go off. He is going to have a huge year.
I saw that quote. He does look bigger. Guys, he's been a very good player. He's wide receiver 3. This is terrible. I've been thinking about this a lot. And, of course, this is classic Mon. I'm already thinking 2 years down the road. I hope he has 2 phenomenal years.
You're not going to be able to sign him?
I hope he kicks butt, okay? But you know what's going to happen? He wants 50, 60, 75, $80 million. He's not going to get it in Cincinnati with Higgins and Chase. Buddy, If he's that good, you better package him and get some picks for him. We'll worry about that in a couple years. But still, I'm just saying. Listen, Kevin Walter. Remember Kevin Walter?
Yeah.
The Bengals had probably the best wide receiver room in the NFL. Kevin Walter was an undrafted free agent. Okay,
yes,
we had Kelly Washington, TJ. We had Chad Johnson.
yes.
We had Tab Perry was healthy. We had all these great guys.
Houshmandzadeh.
They let Kevin Walter go. Kevin Walter played another 7 years. He made like $50 million.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying when you have a known commodity that you know that you're so, you can't keep them. You just can't. I mean, when you have two wide receivers making that much money, you got other guys, and Gesicki's a wide receiver, actually. Man, get some picks for him.
So that's the biggest thing, and James Rapine brought this.
Burton could
James
turn around.
James Rapine brought this up too. One thing that's really cool is Yoshi being what he's been these last couple of years. Even if he just doesn't regress, he's going to be phenomenal. But by having him line up at 1 and T at 2 opens up Jamar to go in the slot, and that's just a whole other level of creation when you have Jamar in the slot. But Yoshi, the fact that they can't double T Jamar, Yoshi, and Mike, so Mike and Yoshi and Jermaine Burton are going to get a chance to win those one-on-one battles against lesser corners, against linebackers. All they have to do is beat less talented guys, and they could be in for a really good season. And we know that Joe is going to go to the guys that are open. He's not going to force it, and they just have to win those small battles. Go ahead, Mon.
Yeah. If Burton turns it around and becomes a professional, he's another first-round pick to me.
Did you see his interview, Mom?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely love it. And you're right about Houshmandzadeh, Bengal fandom. He regrets leaving and going to Seattle. He regrets it. He wishes he would have taken a little bit less to stay in Cincinnati because it wasn't that big of a difference. Totally regrets it. You're right.
Look who's on my wall, Houshmandzadeh. There's a reason. Yeah. He needs to be in the Ring of Honor, by the way.
Well, Eric, you going to tease some things?
Yeah. So we were actually let's talk about some of the stuff we got coming up. Not going to give too many details because that's not as fun for some of the surprise. But we've got some guests coming on the next couple of weeks. We're pretty excited about. We're just finalizing the details with them. But this is a time of year where it's not as much Bengals news out there. Yeah, we've got mini camp coming up. There's going to be a lot to talk about there, but Bengals Pulse, we're always going to have topics and things to talk about for you. So we're going to be here for you. We're going to pull in some guests. We're going to get a little fun with it. I mean, it's off-season time. We can only be so serious. So looking forward to a lot of the good stuff. We were going to have Bengals Gym on tonight, but some things fell through. But before before we get out of here, we want to just talk about some of the stuff that's coming up because most people do know that they've got Jungle Jam coming up, put on by Bengal Jim and Friends. Great thing for charity. So we wanted to throw some of that up on the screen just to remind people to check it out, to try and head down there if you can. There's only a few of these, I think, VIP and other tickets that are going on, but Jungle to the Hall is going on June 19th. So check out Bengals Jim and Friends on Facebook, on Twitter, on X. They've got a lot of different information out there. And the really cool thing that they added this year, I don't know that they were doing this online, but they're doing charity auctions. And as you can see, they've got this really cool Joe Burrow bench. It does not come with Kay Adams, but this is up for auction right now. All proceeds for this bench go to the Burrow Foundation. So their current bid is $800. So it's going to go for a lot more than that. But they're auctioning off the Burrow bench. They've got a Jamar Chase used signed football, Logan Wilson helmet. This amazing painting that's done. His name is escaping me right now, but his paintings are on my list of things when I hit a semi-small Powerball. This Sean Volker. These painters are just fantastic, and autograph helmets, jerseys, pictures, balls. Check it out. We'll drop the link in the chat here. All of these proceeds are going to charity, but it's going to be a great thing that's going on, a great get-together for Bengals fans. I'm still contemplating coming up, depending on how things shake up, because the Bengals are also doing some in-stadium fun and games for season ticket holders. So I don't know if Jake, if you saw any of that, but there's a lot going to be going on in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks leading up to training camp. But
Yes.
make sure you check out all the auctions that are available. Go out to Jungle Jam, go to the free events, go to the paid events if you can. There's so much free stuff that they're doing. This is over on Newport and the Levee. And yeah, I'm really jealous for those that get to go if we don't make it up. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it says the VIP session's sold out already.
Yeah, VIP sessions are sold out, but a lot of the stuff is free. The season preview,
Right.
Junglesville Hall program, and the Bengals are doing stuff in coordination. That's where the season ticket holder stuff that they're doing is on the same weekend. So pretty cool stuff. And
Yeah,
and some
I would love to go. I went to the first one in Canton years ago. Had a great time. Got to spend a lot of time with Jim and everybody from his show. Just they treated me great. I wish the odd thing is I'll be in Cincinnati 2 weeks before my family reunion is up there. I'm just not going to be able to go back up 2 weeks later. I wish I could, but it's a good time, and I hope everybody can support it.
Yeah, and just a little more information. He's got 43 players: Carl Pickens, Jeff Blake, Isaac Kurz, Kenny Anderson, Lamar Parrish, Reggie Williams, Ted Karras, Sam Hubbard. It's going to be vendors. There's going to be a live band. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you guys get a chance, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some some exciting shows coming up for you guys. Some awesome guests. We'll wait till we'll wait to say who's going to be on, but you're definitely going to want to tune in next week as we have a very, very awesome guest. I am very excited about.
That's
Much in the know.
2 weeks.
2 weeks for the yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
2
maybe
weeks
we'll have
for
an
that.
awesome guest next week too. We'll who knows? We'll see.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
you
2
know
weeks
what?
for the one I'm talking. Yeah, 2 weeks for the one.
I'm
Yes,
like
yes.
Adam Schefter over here, except for I have nobody's number, and it seems like I'm just a random person texting people. But I'm going to keep texting until they answer, and they come on the pulse, and they talk some football with us.
No, yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun show in 2 weeks. Sorry, I'm already trying to get there quickly because I'm excited about it. Yeah, go ahead, Mom.
I know we're going to wrap it up here, but I listened to a great podcast today from Paul Boehner and Jay Morrison. They had Mo on from ESPN 1530. They talked about regression, players that might
Yep.
regress this season, and players that might, sort of take that next step in a positive way. They had some good selections, and honestly, it's not out of the realm. And they had Jamar Chase as regressing. Is he going to win a Triple Crown again? I mean, don't get me wrong. He could have 100 catches, 1,500 yards, and 10 TDs. That's great. That's an All-Pro season, but it might not be the Triple Crown. So that could be a regression. And I didn't think of that. And Joe Burrow could have 40 touchdown passes and 3,900 yards, and that's regressing from last year. So it was an interesting debate. It was an interesting debate.
They did say, even Trey Hendrickson, 17 and a half back-to-back years. It's not likely that he's going to get that again. So that's a regression there too. But you have to look, but you have to look at it as, you know what? Individual regression does not mean team regression. And that's the key. If Trey Hendrickson has 12 sacks, but Miles Murphy has 5 and Shamar Stewart has 7, well, we've improved as a team. So I don't know.
Let's finish the show with a hot take. Give me a hot take, a player. Give me a player stat, an unknown player, not Joe, not Chase, not Higgins. Give me a player, one player you think is going to take it to the next level for the Bengals in 2025. Eric, go for it.
I'll go to Jake first. I got to think about this one.
I already said mine. I'm telling you right now, Yoshi is going to light it up. I'm going to say Yoshi. Maybe one of the reasons why Jamar doesn't have as many yards as he did this year is going to be because of the production that Yoshi has. I'm going to say Yoshi has 800 plus yards. That is my hot take. 800 plus yards for Yoshi. I'm telling you guys, he is going to be at a whole nother level. This dude is serious, and he wants to be the best, which makes him even more dangerous. Yoshi is my guy.
Okay. Eric?
I'm doing some research. You give us yours.
Okay.
I gotta come back with
I'm going to give you one right now. He's going to make the team. Cedric Johnson is going to be a situational pass rusher. He's going to come in on an obvious third down passing. He's going to come in, they're going to create packages for him. He's going to give us 8 sacks this year. Cedric Johnson is going to be sort of a closer. He flashed. He's athletic. That the athleticism on that defensive line is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Miles Murphy's going to take it to another level. I think the Bengals are going to improve. I think they're going to add 10, 15 sacks to their totals from last year and add maybe 30, 40 more pressures.
Hey, guys, real quick before Eric goes, throw yours up there, guys, and we will read them out here quickly. Eric, you go first, and then let's get to the comments and read everyone's hot take.
And I'm going to go where this is a hot take, but this is not somebody that's coming out of there. This is a little known guy named Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to throw for 5,000 plus passing yards and 50 plus TDs. That's my hot take. Offensive line is not regressing anymore. And Joe, with one more second, those numbers are easy. That's the hot take of the century.
Hey, the offensive line guys, again, this might just be player speak, but the offensive line guys, I don't know if you saw, some of them have already said this is the furthest along and the best that they have looked. Orlando Brown said since he's been there, this is the best that they have looked, and the not only the best that they've looked, but the most understanding that they've had. So we will see. Let's get to some of these real quick. Subway Cookies. I like this one. Cam Taylor-Britt, a top 10 corner. What do you think? I could see that. I really could see that.
If the pass rush is there, it goes hand in hand, complementary football. Our pass rush was inconsistent last year. We saw the stats from Warren Sharp when Trey Hendrickson's on the bench. They were 32nd in the NFL in pass rush rate. That hurts your defensive backs. It hurts them tremendously. So better pass rush, more success for our defensive backs.
Jennifer says Chase Brown. I'm guessing she's just picking Chase Brown as I like this one. I think Chase Brown already had 1,300 total yards this past year. I think Chase Brown rushes for 1,000 yards, and I'm going to say he's going to be around 1,500 total yards this year. What do you think?
I like that. Am I out of line here? My big concern with Chase Brown, I think the Bengals are going to overwork him. That's what worries me.
Really?
So
yeah.
My hot take on that is that Taj Brooks will be running back 2 before week 10 and have at least 5 touchdowns this year.
Ross, I didn't know that. That's really cool. T. Higgins is doing a camp in Huntington, West Virginia. Nice.
Let's go. Can you sign up?
Can you sign up?
Mon's already. If anybody's seen Mon on socials, he's already got his Bengals gear.
Let me just get back to Chase. Chase, he's dynamic with the ball in his hands. That's not Chase Brown. And I get the Bengals one. They give him the ball, but man, I mean, guys, am I wrong to think that he could break down? He's not the biggest guy. They need to have a good mix here, man. Give P. Ryan some carries. Maybe later in the year, get Taj Brook more involved. I don't want Chase Brown wore down.
So let me say this real quick. Because I really like this debate. All right, so you guys, I know we got to get out of here, but we got to talk about this really quick because we're talking about Yoshi. That's my dude. So today, guys, again, there's a text chain with the 3 of us and then Ace and Zim, and it is. I'm just happy. It's not all basketball anymore. But now this is the debate we had today. We have debates every day, the 5 of us. They get a little heated, which I love. And sometimes I'll be honest with you, I might throw a little spark on the fire just to get Ace and Zim going at each other. But let me say this. I want to hear your guys' take on this really quick. All right. I know Mons. I want to hear you guys in the comment. All right. So today we talked about the Ravens signing Rashard Bateman to a $36 million deal. I think 3 years, $36 million. So as soon as that debate went on, Ace and I, who a lot of times we're not always on the same team, but Ace and I on the same team today, we said Rashard Bateman might be receiver 4 or 5 on the Bengals. there's no way he's better than Yoshi. And Mon and Zim disagreed a little bit. Eric kind of did the whole Switzerland thing and stayed right in the middle.
I didn't comment on any of that because I was working and there was 7,000 texts I couldn't keep up with. So go
Listen,
ahead.
Yeah,
there's no way.
sorry, you don't work. You work for Bezos. You don't work for Elon. You're good. Keep on.
Oh,
A lot of stuff happening there. But
listen. So I want to just real quick, guys. Are you taking Bateman or Yoshi right now? I don't care about the future, any of that. Are you taking Bateman or Yoshi right now, Mon?
Jake, I'll tell you what I tweeted out or what I sent in the text.
Yes,
I love Yoshi. Yoshi is a great player. Yoshi was a 6th round pick. I'm taking the 1st round pick in the draft. Bateman is not a superstar, but he's a good player. He's not a slouch. He would never be 1 or 2 in Cincinnati ever. But I think if I had to pick between wide receiver 3, I would take Bateman. I would.
That's crazy.
I would take 1970s Adam West Batman before I'm taking Bateman.
I'm just talking player.
I'll take Yoshi all day.
You're doing the play on the commercial with Jason Bateman. I like that, Eric.
Yeah,
that was very clever.
Listen,
I don't know how long it took you to come up with that, but that
was I'm sharp today. I got it. Cartoon Jake has got me infused here. Hey, before we do get out of here, I think there was one up here. Fuzzy Balls had T. Higgins getting at least 1,200 yards, and absolutely he is due for a season of 1,200 plus. I want to see him every game out there, 1,200 plus. T is due, and I think the relief from this year is going to make it so. You guys got any disagreement with that?
I think you are right on the money. I think we're going to see a whole nother level of T, which is kind of crazy because he's a top 10 receiver and has played like one. But guys, I think we're going to see a whole nother level of T, just like we're going to see a whole nother level of Yoshi. This Bengals offense is going to be nasty. I'm telling you now. You thought it was good last year. It's going to be nasty, Mon.
Yeah, I was just sending you guys a message about something. Read that real quick before we get off the air. Okay. Yes or no? Just let me know. No big deal. But
I want to know. Hold on. I want to know what Mon was like as a kid at Christmas. We can't give away our big guests.
He's
right
like
now.
My wife. He's like my wife.
You gotta let people build up. We're gonna have a really good guest in 2 weeks. Mon wants to tell everybody we gotta build it up. We gotta let it be.
It's all good. Okay.
Listen, maybe I'm trying to sneak Joe Burrow in as a guest, and then I'll really surprise everybody. What if it's your wives again?
Hey, listen, I want everybody to know that Mike Brown's coming on our show. I want them to know that.
Hey, that would be great.
Hey, let's say this. Let's say this. Who is coming on our show? We talked about tonight as he covers the Bengals in detail. There we go. That's what we're saying.
It's Bateman, right? Okay. Hey, before we get out of here, Vanguard.
Wait. Look at Vanguard. I love Vanguard. Vanguard's crushing it tonight. Trenton Irwin over Bateman. I love it. Let me tell you, Vanguard. This is what I text to Mon and Zim. I said basically Bateman is John Ross 2.0. Can't disagree with me. It's facts.
I think Bateman's a good player. I want him to have a terrible career, but I think he's a good player.
I mean, we watch a lot of football. I can't remember an explosive play of his, and typically a great player, you can remember those even if they happen against your team. Before we get out of here, let's just flip flop. Mon only remembers the negative. I remember the positive. I don't know. Who does Bateman play for? I don't know. Whatever. He plays for State Farm, probably. Vanguard wants to know, will the Bengals Pulse be at the home opener? And I'm going to be there. You guys going to be there?
I don't have tickets unless you're selling one.
I got two extra. I might be able to slip you.
Listen, if you want to sell one to me at a little higher than market value, I'll do it.
As of right this minute, Yes, I will be there. 100% I will be there.
All right, you guys heard it. Jake's on the hook. Mon's on the hook. This is what we're going to try and do. Last year we had a special event at Midwest Best Barbecue. We did a live show. Actually, Zim and I did a live show. We had some cool guests. We had the Bengals captain in there. We had Tim and Nicole in there. Really cool, fun experience. So we're hoping to recreate that. We're going to try and get Zim and Ace in town as well. We might need a bigger venue though last year because last year we spilled over into the outside portion. It was really, really fun. I wish you guys could have been there, but we have to do something like that this year. We get everybody in town, rent a van, do something. We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Do we have like 2 more minutes to talk about something?
Well, we have to because Ross wants me to make fun of the Aaron Rodgers thing one more time. So I'm coming up with something good, Ross.
Mon's 2-minute warning.
I sent you guys something yesterday from Matt Bowman from ESPN. He's a writer, college football analyst, and he covers the NFL also. He went through a 2024 NFL season, most explosive plays by an NFL team. This is rushing yards of 10 or 10 plus yards, passing yards of 20 plus. Which team had the most explosive plays, the most combination of 10 plus rushing yards per, or 20 plus yards per play? The Baltimore Ravens were number 1 with 145 explosive plays. They were number 1 in the NFL. That stunned me. Guess where our Bengals were? 23rd.
Well, I know what.
23rd.
Yeah.
Really?
23rd. Now listen, I bet you we led the NFL in plays of over 40 yards. Yeah. But still, it shows you our offense was so good, it could still get better. It really could.
And we had
10. And that's scary. That's
scary. 5,000 passing yards, 50 touchdowns. I told you it's going to happen.
We had 10 of those against the Baltimore Ravens. I think we had 10 explosive plays against the Baltimore Ravens.
Here's a top five teams in the NFL in explosive plays. Baltimore at 145, number 1. Tampa Bay had 132 explosive plays. Detroit had 130. Green Bay 129. That surprised me. Jordan Love's the quarterback.
That's surprising.
Philadelphia 125. Guess who came in last? Jake, you're going to love this.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yes, 73.
I figured they had to. Guess what? Guess what's even funnier? They're going to come in last this year again.
Guess who came in next to last?
I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Eric. They played in the Super Bowl, Kansas City.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
No, I cannot believe that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Crazy.
It's a great article. It's a lot of good, for analytics, data nuts. I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought it would be much higher.
Let's rate. Let's do this since Ross. Let's do this, Ross, with Aaron Rodgers before we leave. What do you rate higher? What do you rate higher? Danica Patrick or the witch that he was with? I don't know what the witch's name was. What was her name? She was like a real witch. Seriously, I'm not joking. Aaron Rodgers.
I'm muting myself. I'm going to ask my daughter real quick.
Danica Patrick or the witch?
Shailene Woodley, is that what you're talking about?
Is that her name?
She's not a real witch.
That's what Olivia said just now.
What's her name?
Listen, look at Shailene Woodley. Yeah. I mean,
hey, listen, I'm not making fun. I don't want to be messing with that stuff. I'm not making fun. I just want to.
Blue of Earth. Blue of Earth is the witch lady.
Oh yeah, what's her name?
What is it, Olivia?
Blue of Earth.
Blue of Earth.
Blue of Earth. So
wait, he was with someone named Blue of Earth?
Oh, wait, did he date Olivia Munn? Jennifer Jones says he dated Olivia Munn.
You're gonna hate on Aaron Rodgers. He's dated everybody. So what are you talking about?
How is that possible? How is that possible?
He's coming for Sydney. Your girl Sydney soon. So be careful.
Listen, the guy is going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. He only won 1 Super Bowl. Probably one of the most overrated players in NFL history.
Listen, I can't stand the dude. I think he's kooky. That arm of his is unbelievable.
Listen,
his arm is.
Listen, the skill set is incredible, but we always give that guy credit. Is he really a winner? is he really a winner? He won 1 Super Bowl, guys. 1 Super Bowl.
I think he's a narcissist, man. He is a narcissist. He's just whatever, man. You know what? I'm glad he's a Steeler. I don't think he makes them a better team. He doesn't make that locker room a better locker room. Cam Hayward and those guys, they're not going to put up with this crap.
Honestly, I mean, I can't speak for those guys, but Cam Hayward and those guys that are like true. I have all the respect in the world for Cam Hayward. I really do.
He's a Hall of Famer,
and I don't say that very often about the AFC North players that are not in stripes. But he's a true pro. He is a stud. I don't think he wants him on the team. I mean, this is not we make fun of this about Bozo the Clown coming to the circus. I don't think a lot of people wanted Bozo the Clown. I really don't. I don't think a lot of Steelers wanted him.
Guys, I want you guys to know something. Your phone is listening to you. I just said something about Aaron Rodgers' arm talent. Look what I get. I get all of his Hail Mary passes on Instagram. Stop listening to me. Stop listening. It's ridiculous. What's that?
Mon, are you good?
Yeah, what?
Oh, man, you're going down the Aaron Rodgers path. Absolutely, Mon. I'll talk to you about all these conspiracies that are true. A lot of the stuff that Aaron Rodgers believes is actually true. It's just the way he goes about it. Your phone's listening to you. You've got no privacy.
What's the coincidence? I pick up my phone. I see Aaron Rodgers throwing a Hail Mary pass.
Yeah.
We started talking about it.
Jake dropped Sydney Sweeney. I never even knew who the person was. And all of a sudden there's reports about her bath water being made into soap. Like, come on.
I would think there are probably more pictures of
Stop talking about Sydney Sweeney. Stop talking about it.
About Blue of I'm surprised Mon doesn't have more Danica Patrick and Blue of Earth and whatever.
I mean, say what you want, but now after all that, he's dating a billionaire's daughter. So,
yeah,
Aaron Rodgers has never gotten 1 ring, but maybe, he's got 1 ring, but he's never gotten the other ring, and he just keeps going through them. He's kind of like, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. So much for that 45-minute show tonight. So
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. What the hell, Mon? What the hell?
Let's just say
there's a trick to this. There's a trick to this. If I want a 30 to 35-minute show, I have to schedule it when Edmonton is playing.
Yes, that is true. That is 100%.
That is the key.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Once again, thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate you. We love you. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you like this podcast, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the awesome podcast platforms, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify. As always, guys, if you like this podcast, make sure you give us that 5-star review. We very much appreciate that. Follow Mon on Twitter @TheFireMon. Follow me on Twitter @CoachJakeOwens9. Follow Eric on Twitter @eFlash with 2 H's 88. Follow the Wednesday Night Podcast Network on Twitter @WednesdayPod. And guys, please follow us on Twitter @the Bengals Pulse, on Instagram, the same without the @the Bengals Pulse. And guys, as always, check out all the awesome podcasts right here on the Wednesday Night Podcast Network. I'm going to end this thing on a positive note. Sydney Sweeney. He is Mon. He is Eric. I am Jake. This is the Bengals Pulse. We'll see you guys next week. Who day?
Oh, poor Andy.